welcome to the podcast. I have a first question that I like to ask everybody at the beginning, just to kind of get everybody hooked. If you could only use one word to describe yourself, what word would that be?
Probably.
This podcast is brought to you by South Main Iron. If you have not had a chance to go check those guys out downtown Paris, Texas, go check them out. And thank you guys so much for sponsoring this podcast.
Probably intense.
Intense.
And the reason I use that, because it doesn't feel intense to me, but that's what I've heard a lot.
That's what people tell you?
That is what I've heard a lot, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Ross Moore. I'm excited that you're here. Mm-hmm. We're going to start at the very beginning. Where were you born?
I was born right here in Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas, born and raised.
I'm a hometown boy.
Awesome, awesome. What school did you go to?
I went to North Lamar.
Okay.
My entire
life. When did you graduate?
In 95.
95. What was your thing in school? Like, did you have a favorite sport or a favorite?
Football and lifting weights was my thing.
Lifting weights?
Yeah, that was my thing.
Were you really good at those?
Well, I wanted to be really good. I tried to be really good. There were a lot better athletes than me, but I certainly put the work in.
You put the work in?
Yeah, I put the work in.
Did you go to state or did you have any achievements in those?
No, I did not have any great accolades in those.
But you tried really hard.
I think we went like 1-9 my senior year.
Oh no!
So we had a pretty rough year that year, but we certainly gave it our best.
All right, so you went through high school and you're wrapping up high school. Like, what was your plan? Like, what were you thinking you were going to go do?
I really thought that I wanted to be a football coach. Really thought that's what I wanted to do. I really love football so much, and I wanted to play in college. I was fortunate enough to do that just for a short time up at Southeastern Oklahoma and Durant. Mm-hmm. So I really thought that was my direction when I was in high school.
Okay. So you ended up at Southwestern. What were you going to school? Like, what was your major?
Physical education.
Okay.
Really thought I wanted to be a college-level coach.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I thought that until I saw the life that the college-level coaches lead. I'd already seen the high school side of that, and there were things I didn't like about, things that high school coaches went through. And I thought, having been there, from the perspective of a high schooler in high school, I thought, oh man, those college coaches, they've got it made, that would be the thing. Until probably about 2 or 3 weeks into the first season I was there, and then I got to noticing, man, these college coaches, they are with us 100% of the time, like till 9-10 o'clock at night, and then I knew they went back to the office, and I knew how early they got there in the morning, and it was 9 days a week for them.
Demanding.
We had some time off. They had no time off, and so I quickly saw that quality of life for them was probably a lot less than high school coaches. When it really turned for me was we had a team meal like a night before a game, and my positions coach there, he was a defensive coordinator and a linebacker coach, and I saw his kids run in and run up to him, and it's the first time they had seen him all week, and it was like Saturday night, and that kind of turned it for me.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think this is not what I thought it was going to be.
So did you change your major?
I did. I changed it to I went through a lot of major changes there. It's kind of hilarious. We joke about it all the time. With everybody that works with me, they all laugh about all the majors I've had because none of them fit me at all.
I could see you as a coach, though. I feel like that would fit you.
Yeah, I do. I really like that. That does fit me, my personality, and that's really what I feel like I do in my business as a coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other things I do personally in life, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
So that would fit me. It was just the lifestyle that they are forced to lead in doing that. Just no time, even out of season. They're traveling at that point more than they're traveling in season, going and doing recruiting trips, and so they're spending more time away from home. So they really don't get a lot of family time, and that family is really super important to me. So that I knew that wasn't going to be kind of congruent with my values.
Did you grow up really close to your family?
Yes, we have a very tight knit family and it's a generational thing. We live way out in the country. We're at a direct, about 20 miles from Paris, and it's an oddity in this day and time. But my great grandparents, I knew my great grandparents. They lived, a quarter mile from us. Saw them the whole time I was growing up. Remember them from super early ages. Then my grandparents, both sides of all the grandparents, everybody lived right there within, I'd say, a 2-mile radius. So we saw everybody on the daily.
That's awesome.
And
you knew that's what you wanted going into adulthood.
I guess I did not know it any other way. I guess I couldn't imagine life any other way. That's probably at that point in my life I didn't. You only know what you know, and that's all I knew was that tight-knit family system. So that just seemed very foreign to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you met your wife yet in college?
Yes, I met my wife my senior year in high school.
Okay. Is she local too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is born and raised here. We're kind of those unicorns where our families are from here for several generations, and we've stayed here. And we don't meet a lot of people that
anymore.
We don't meet a lot of people that their families were born and raised in one area and they stayed in that area, and
My wife's not from here, and her family's not from here. But when we got married, I moved them all here.
Yeah. So yeah, we did meet. She was a sophomore and I was a senior.
Okay.
And we started dating, and we will be married 25 years this summer.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. It's a big milestone for us.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking. So, you're in college. You changed your major. That's where we're at.
I changed my major, I think, at that point to like agribusiness. And I can't even remember what I was thinking while I was doing that. But it changed several times. It changed. The funniest one we all laugh about now is at one point I had a computer science major there I think that lasted one semester, maybe two.
Okay.
And the reason that is so funny because everybody that works with me and inside my business knows that I have zero ability to run a computer, and I'm the first person to mess it up and have to start crying for help on the computer, on my cell phone, on the iPad, on anything. It's been discussed that there needs to be no technology in my office at all, no computer, no nothing. If I need something done, I just need to ask somebody to do it. So
we can't all be good at everything.
Yeah, so I did see very quickly in the computer science classes that that does not
fit your
work in my brain. The things they were saying did not make any sense to me, and I did not see how it worked. And some people just took to it and they understood what it is, and it was a foreign language to me. And after the second semester, I knew I was never going to convert to that foreign language. My mind just wasn't going to work that way.
So what did you land on after all the different changes?
I think I finally landed on like an agribusiness degree.
Okay.
I never did finish that degree.
Okay.
I've got probably enough college credits to have a degree, but I don't actually have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
did that help with where you landed in the future in your career? Those classes?
Honestly, I don't think so, because I was I think college is really good if you know what you're going to do with it and you can, apply it looking forward.
Mm-hmm.
Even in running a business, accounting is very important. But at that point in time, I think it would have been better for me. I think I would do really well in college now.
I was going to say something like that.
I could see how I would be applying it. At that point, I think I was so immature, I wasn't able to future cast and see how I would apply this stuff.
Right.
At that point, so I really was not interested in school whatsoever. I would do whatever it took to pass the class and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really apply myself at all in college.
That's funny because I've had several conversations with you, and we've talked about a lot of educational things.
Right.
And you, at least in this stage of your life, you seem like that's something that drives you a little bit, is
yes,
learning.
It is, very much.
Educating yourself in specific things.
It is.
And it's funny because I kind of feel like I've had similar things because
right.
I was definitely the student in school who was
right.
Just barely get me through so I can get out and go live life, do an adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like I find myself wanting to educate myself more.
Right.
I
think timing is very important.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids, I really admire a lot of kids that I know that, man, they are focused at 16 years old and
mm-hmm.
they think they know what they want to do with their life, and they're very, they have a great plan. I think college is great for them. I think we kind of push a lot of kids into college when they say, well, I don't really know what I want to do. Well, you need to go to college
mm-hmm.
to figure it out. I don't know that a lot of times college is the best place to figure it out. Everybody's got a different opinion on that, but at least in my case and some other people I know is, they spend a lot of time and money in college,
mm-hmm.
and they could probably find themselves and what they want to do probably better outside of college, doing some real world stuff first.
Mm-hmm. My mom's a good example. She worked in a factory for years,
right.
and then at 40, my age, she went back to school to become an RN.
Yeah.
And she's been doing that ever since.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think sometimes we have
mm-hmm.
to find the right thing, and that may take 40 years.
Yeah. And I remember when I was in college, I would see people in there, they come in and, when you're in college, you see them as, what are these old people doing in these college classes now? And when you're 18, old people is 25,
Right.
You see people that are 25, 27. But they would come in, they would sit on the front row, they were very focused, they would get straight A's. And I look back now and I see why. They
mm-hmm.
knew what they wanted to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
They knew how it could help them in a life and how they could apply it. And I was so young at that point and so immature, I just didn't have the concepts down. Which if I went back to college now, I would be that front row Joe, sitting in the front, asking the questions.
Eager.
I would be eager now, yes.
Okay, so you didn't quite finish school. What led you
mm-hmm.
to a different path?
I had been doing the landscaping business. I really started mowing lawns and doing that type of work when I was about 13.
Wow.
So we've been doing it for a long time, and I'd done it, kind of more and more, gaining customers, experience.
So was it like a side hustle?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Sure was. All through high school, college. So that's how I'd supported myself. Kayla and I got married. We were married by this time. We got married when I was 20. She was 18. So as soon as she graduated high school, we got married. Children started coming soon after that.
Yes, they do.
They do. So we were blessed to have 4 children. I think along about this time in life, we had I know we probably had 2 kids by then. We both had both the girls, and I think when the first boy was born, being a full-time student and side hustling in the landscaping business is it's hard to eat and pay all the bills doing that. So I had to, and I just was so disengaged from college, and I just basically hated every minute of it. So I decided it was time for me to, start a career full time.
And were you living up there in Oklahoma?
No, when we got married, I came back here.
Okay.
Yeah, when we got married, I came back here. We went to PJC together, and then I started going over to Commerce.
Okay.
Over at A&M in Commerce. So by that time, I was going to Commerce, and I decided I'd had enough college and just wanted to start my career full time.
Okay.
And it was done out of necessity. By the time we had 3 children, and we had to put food on the table. Yeah, for sure.
Something's got to give.
Yeah, something had to give. Yeah.
Okay, so you decided to start your own landscaping business.
Yeah. At that point, let me back up a little bit. I'd gotten so close to graduation at that point. I was really close, and I had done some internships with a few people, and I had my ag business, tracked, getting ready for that degree path, and I was doing some internships for some feed mills and feeding operations over around Sulphur Springs, and I thought that was the career path to take with that degree. And I kind of liked that because it was kind of, there was business involved in it. There was agriculture. There was a lot of things that I like. Being outside. There was that type thing that really interested me. And they really liked me, and I really liked them. They were great people, and I thought that's where I wanted to work. And they knew I was getting close to graduation, and so they wanted to sit down with me and work out a little path for me to come to work for them. And I was super excited, but what they came back with on the compensation side was a big disappointment to me, because I think we teach a lot of college kids that, man, when you get this degree, you're worth a lot of money.
Right.
And most of the time, I believe it's just not the case. They get a big disappointment when they get out of college.
Yeah.
About what they're actually worth in the market. And so it was a big shock to me that I was making more doing my landscaping business on the side than I was going to get when I got out of college with my degree. So that was a big change for me right there. I thought, well, I'm not going to go to work for somebody else and have to move and make less money because I got this college degree.
And at that time, you're not even putting your full time into the landscaping.
Yeah.
That's just, it's still side hustle, and you're making better money.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I came home and told Kayla, I'm fixing to do the landscaping business full time.
Yeah.
And I'm done with college. So that's where that kind of started. That's where I quit the college and went into the landscaping business full time.
Okay, and you started that in Paris, Texas.
Yes, it's always been here.
Always been here.
Yeah.
Has it always been in the same location?
No, I was operating out of my home for the first many years. I think now in 2006 we built the nursery location.
Okay.
And about 2 years prior to that, I was operating out of a shop building that was directly across the road from that location now.
Yeah, I think you've told me that before.
Before that, I was just operating out of our house.
Okay. Where'd you get your name from? The company name?
I grew up right there close to the Red River.
Mm-hmm.
We spent all of my childhood days and many nights right there on the banks of the Red River, doing farming work, hauling hay, things like that. We spent a lot of time right there on the river, and that place is very special to me. And I wanted a business name that was bigger than Moore's Landscaping or Moore's Lawn Service.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a vision for it, what it would be in the future, and it would be bigger than that. I want it to be more of a regional sounding name that encompassed more than just a one guy mom and pop operation with just my name. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sam Walton with Walmart has done pretty good with a name, with his last name.
Yeah.
So, It's not that you can't do that. That was just my idea on that.
So when you're sitting down and you're dreaming this up, like at the beginning when you're still working out of your house, did you envision where you're at now?
Honestly, yes, to a point I did. Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to take it.
Awesome.
It's not in the location that I kind of always envisioned. And of course, everything is different, but basic concepts, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, basic concept is yes. I think you and I talked about this before, and we've kind of got that visionary tendency in gifting, and I think that's something the Lord gives you, and so I think He gave me that early on to, so that I would have that. I always have that in my mind, kind of keep me focused on where I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Now, all your kids work for you too, right? Most of them?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we've got 4. We got 2 girls, 2 boys, and they all currently work in the business.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. And I've seen you with your kids, and I admire how you like teach them lessons even in work and when they're around you. And I've seen you like pull them aside and talk them through things, and it's kind of cool. Mine, I try to do that. I probably should be better. I'm excited for the day when they're probably more interested in what I'm doing. Right now they're still I don't know, interested in not the same things.
Yeah. It definitely changes over time as they change and mature, and what they're interested in. It definitely changes
and grow
a lot. It's seasons. There are all kinds of seasons in life. And so man, you just got to try to enjoy whatever season you're in right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long has the business been open?
Well, I've basically been doing it since I was 13. I basically have the name Red River Landscaping since I was about 18, and I'm 45 now. So whatever the math is on that.
So a long time.
It's been a little while. Yeah.
That's awesome. And to have that many years of experience in your field, that's crazy cool.
It is cool. It's I'm kind of getting the benefit of, now I do get to have the benefit of being the old man who has a lot of who has seen some stuff. So I can head off a few problems now that I've seen coming because I've seen them before. So yeah. So that is getting.
I want to talk a little bit about your passion for learning, because we've talked about this a lot lately, and and another thing that inspires me about you is like. I remember our first meeting we had. We came into your office and we were talking about our services and things we could do for you. And you were more knowledgeable about what we do than most people that we walk into a meeting with. And B, like, you had so many books and so many educational resources, like even in your office. You've given us books, you've given us names of books to read. What made you, have you always been that way, or is that something that's happened later in life? I know we kind of talked about your school career, but like, have you always been that interested in that?
I have always loved to read. That was something I remember from really early on. My mom really encouraged that. My dad did too. But my grandparents were big on that too. So that's been something that's kind of been one of those things where, if that's all you know, that's all you know. I really love reading. I don't hardly read much anymore. I listen to everything now through Audible. I really love Audible because, as you know, I like to go through a lot of stuff, so I can, all my drive time, workout time, any time I possibly can, I pop those earbuds in, and I've got a book going, and you can bump it up on like 1.5 speed, and I can listen quicker than I can read. So I listen to a lot of books that way and really blow through a lot of material, and then because a lot of books you read are, there's 1 or 2 good nuggets in them, and you save those and move on. And a lot of books you have that are just filled with great things, and then I'll go back and buy those books, and I'll keep those in my office, and I'll highlight them and dog ear them, and pass them on to other people that when it's appropriate. But really do like the Audible app. That's been a great a great thing for me because there's no way I could physically read the amount of material that I am able to go through now with that.
Time is a large issue because for me, I'm a big Audible fan too, and I didn't figure that out until probably 4 years ago that I could. I've never liked reading a book. I struggle. It would take me. I'd really have to read like one page 4 times before I really could grasp everything that was said in that. But I could listen to a book, and I even sometimes do the time and a half as well, a lot quicker and retain it in my brain a lot easier with Audible. And I've probably, I don't know, I've listened to hundreds of books in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm the same. Every time I'm in the car, I've got a book going. Yeah. And if it's not a book, I switch to podcast. Yeah. It's very rare that I play music. I've had people ask me, well, what kind of music do you listen to? And I'm like, well, not...
The intros to the podcast and books, that's about the music we get,
That or the ones I edit with for videos for business. So I don't really know a lot about that. But
I'm kind of the same way.
I love that.
And it's good for people, me and you are pretty strong auditory learners. Mm-hmm. So, even if I'm hearing somebody do a lecture or something like that, I'll find myself closing my eyes. Mm-hmm. So I'm not distracted because I'm very distracted visually. I'll get involved in everything that's going on outside, what the construction workers are doing across the street, all this kind of stuff. So a lot of times I'll find I've got to close my eyes or look straight down at the floor and just focus in on what I'm hearing, auditory. And so that works good for folks like us. Now I have some friends who cannot stand it. They absolutely will not listen to a book on Audible. Yep. They've got to get it and read it.
My wife, she doesn't even listen to my podcast. So I am the same way. At church, I will, if I visit a church, I will be so locked in on what the tech and the behind the scenes people are doing that I will miss the message because I get so distracted. Yeah. So easily, especially on something, if I'm around something that's in my field of expertise or whatnot. So okay, I want to change subjects. Okay. You're gonna love this one. Okay. So I want to talk about who you look like.
Danny DeVito. That's what I always get.
You don't look like Danny DeVito. You look like John Cena.
I get that every day. Yes. Every day.
I mean, you could be a stuntman for John Cena.
I wish I could turn it into some income, honestly.
You should write him because you could possibly do that.
It's an everyday thing. Everywhere we go, every waiter, anytime I'm standing in line, anything.
Has anybody actually mistaken you for him?
No, it's not. I'm not that close.
I feel like it's pretty close.
It's just close enough to start a conversation with. It's not close enough to
actually signing the autographs.
Now, little kids. It's happened with little kids before. Yeah. Yeah. I've been at ball games before in Dallas or something like that, and parents will come over, and I can tell the kid is just acting. The kid's just giddy and acting crazy. The kid's just acting crazy, and the parent will come over and say, "They think you're John Cena. Tell them you're not John Cena." So they keep saying, "I keep telling them you're not John Cena. You're not John Cena, are you?" So it's good enough for little kids, but most adults can.
You could do birthday parties, man.
Maybe I could do birthday parties. That might be a good side gig. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's most of what I have. I do have a couple other questions, kind of capping the episode off. First question: if you could pick any place in Paris, Texas, any place, it can be food, it can be a favorite tree, it can be anything. What's your favorite place to go in Paris, Texas?
Man, that is a tough question. Recently, my wife and I have started walking on the trail.
Okay.
And that we really enjoyed that. The trail is super nice. Mm-hmm. Sadly, I did not ever go out on the trail until just recently. I've know a lot of people go out there. It's very popular. I have just never personally been to the trail. And the first time I went on it was a Sunday afternoon. We went after church. She and I went for a walk that Sunday afternoon this fall, and I was like, well, now I see why this is so popular. This is pretty cool.
They've been trying to make the trail a linear park, like a linear national park.
Yeah.
I think that's still in the works. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
But it's long. I don't know how many miles it goes, but it's a really long track.
Yeah. So right now, I would say that's probably pretty cool because we can kind of go out there and, it's almost like a mini date when we go out there. Yeah. So
and a little bit of exercise.
Yep. Yeah. So we like to go out there and walk, and
it's a great one.
We don't do it near as much as we should, but that's something that's in the coming year we're gonna get some more time chiseled out to do more walking on the trail together.
I live on the trail in Reno, and so we get to hop on the trail with the kids all the time. They love the bridges. They love throwing rocks off the bridges into the water. It's been a family thing for years. I mean, we've been by there for 11, 12 years.
I think that's a pretty cool feature here in Paris.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Really do.
It makes us unique, and it's great for bikers, and we have a lot of biking opportunities in our community. So it's really cool to see people out on the trail.
And one thing that struck me when I was out there on the trail was the diversity of people that are out there. You have young families with little kids out there. You have people pushing strollers. The next guy's up. He might look like a competition biker as he whizzes by. All suited out in the biking gear, and he's very serious. Then there's a lot of the retirement homes have backed up to that and got access to it, and so you might see you might see a 90-year-old guy with a walker out there getting exercise on the trail. It's just you're going to see
a little bit of everybody.
You're going to see everybody out there on that trail, from the youngest of young to the oldest of old. You're going to see them out there on the trail. I
think another group of people forget about is there are actually people who use that trail to get to work. I myself, I used to work at a church, and it was a 3-mile ride from my house to the church, and I did it almost every day. Yeah, rode my bike. Yeah, well, that would be a great commute. It would. Yeah. And it was a good exercise. We at that time, my wife and I were a 1-car family, so it left her the car with the kids, and I would ride to work. Yeah, that'd be a perfect situation. Okay, one other thing.
Okay.
So we pre-record these for people listening, but your birthday was 2 days ago?
My birthday was Monday. Yes, a couple days ago. So happy birthday. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you're 45?
I'm 45.
Man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's when you're young, you think 45 is old. But actually 45 feels pretty good.
It's not that.
I think a lot of people have told me 40, and I've always thought this before, 45 is kind of the prime of your life. It is a fun time. My kids are a fun age. I've got some that are newly married, and some that are getting married, and some that are, late teenagers. So it is a fun time. Awesome. It's a cool time in life. I'm really look forward to the future. Honestly, so I can't say anything bad about 45.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Well, you're very welcome. It's been fun.
Was it that hard?
It was not hard.
Okay, good.
It was not hard.
I feel like I have a lot of people, and you didn't say this, but I've had a lot of other people say, like, not that it was hard, but that they were super nervous because they'd never done anything like that. Right. And for the most part, all of them, as soon as I hit stop recording, they're like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. But thank you again.
Well, you're very welcome.
And next time, we should do another podcast, and we can talk more about business stuff. I love it. I have a dream of doing podcasts on it'd be, instead of Paris, Texas a podcast, it'd be like business a podcast. Right. And we talk about the growth of business and all the way from its infancy and growth to how it became to what it is now. Right. And I think yours would be a great podcast to talk about that.
Oh man, I'd love to do it.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'll keep you to that.
All right.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.